Many, many more women are working. It's poised to go almost up to half and maybe over half in the next few months. But I think more importantly, the actual polling results show how much attitudes have changed. Both men and women are comfortable with female bosses now. They both say they're comfortable with the woman earning more than the man in the household. There's just an awful lot of change that has occurred in the way we live our daily lives and in the values that we bring to our communities, our families, our workplaces. So much has changed. I think it matters a lot for families that both parents are working. I think it matters for the family income. The standards of living are rising, family incomes are rising. And that allows people to when we're not in a recession, it allows people to vacation more, enjoy leisure more, get more of the things we consider the good things of life. Not only vacations, but health care, college education, college tuition, room and board for the kids, retirement security. All of those things can be increased when women are working as much as men. The problem is that women are not earning as much as men. They're still only earning about 77% of men. That is a big improvement. It used to be 60%. Lots of the jobs that men and women are doing are similar, but they are still doing very different work. And it's still the case that men's jobs tend to have better benefits, especially health care and especially access to health care for the whole family. So it's still the case today that many women are dependent on their men's jobs for their own access to health care and also for their children's access to health care. Pensions is another big problem. The pension gap is a lot bigger than the wage gap. The wage gap's about 23%, but the pension gap, depending on how you measure it, is like 50% or 75%. Many fewer women have pensions, and when they do have pensions, it's a lot smaller. So there's still these tremendous inequalities, economically speaking, due largely to the kinds of jobs that women and men hold. If we could increase women's pay and make it equal to men's, we would see that for all the families that have a working woman, for example, poverty would fall by half. I mean, there are very few public policies we have that would reduce poverty by half, but paying women the same as men would be one of them. Just having more money to increase your standard of living, to pay for college, to pay your mortgage, to save for your pension, all of those things would not only improve the standard of living of each family, but it would definitely spur economic growth in the United States. For society as a whole, I think, in a sense, it increases security. It allows all the adults, men and women, to work to support a family. That has to increase a sense of security. So it's certainly pointing us toward the idea that we are moving toward equality, and I think its main point is that people are ready for this change. They accept this change. They in some sense welcome it, but they're very, very concerned that these changes aren't made easy for families. We don't have much paid leave. We don't have much support for child care in this country. We don't have flexible work arrangements where we can go and ask our employer to give us a different schedule if we want. So that too many of the things that would make it easier for families don't exist. And men and women both would like to have changes in the way workplaces operate. So it's simply easier to combine work and family than it is today. People, I think, have very high standards of what it means to be a parent, and I think those standards have been rising. And I think they think that because they're working so much more, they're not doing a good job. But if you actually look at the data, both men and women are more engaged with their children than they were. For many women, they see the changes as a little bit too slow. They'd like to see more equal pay. They'd like to see more women in leadership roles, both in business and in government. And I think both men and women would like to see public policies that make it easier for them to combine work and family. I think this is a real case where the people are way ahead of the policymakers.